Your nerves are showing. I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't be. I'd question it if you weren't nervous. Do you think you're ready? This isn't about beating him. If you go through these trials with that perspective and you're chosen, you'll see it as a win. And Sarula itself is not something to be won. I know that you have your reasons to think that way, but I've also heard that you and Zaros have acted with civility, which is what I'd hoped for. You've done wonderfully over the years, but now is not the time to revert back to how you were. You've convinced many that you've changed. Convince me. That progress cannot be for nothing, and it is paramount that you do not tarnish it. Oh, you have to do more than try. The nobles sneered behind your back, but you're the next in line. They didn't contest. Why? Because they must believe that you are capable enough. They know my way, and they expect my teachings to continue through you. And I'm proud of you. You put in the work, but it is yet to pay off, so you cannot falter. You cannot let him anger you. Otherwise, all those sessions with Shyless would become meaningless. When was the last time you saw her? I think it might be wise to make an appointment with her again. 2 years is too big a gap. It should have been periodically. If less than a month with Zaros is making you unravel, then you're going. Understand?
Then the southern part of Kalad, which used to be called
Vaymark.
Yes, Vaymark.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Eminence. My Iris.
Are you ready for the first trial?
As ready as I can be.
Good. I've been told you are enamored with the library. So much so that you're in there every day.
I am. It's magnificent. Unfortunately, sleep is a necessity for us to function, so I must take my time.
Well, during the trials, you are more than welcome to continue reading in there.
Thank you, Your Eminence.
Zaros was telling me earlier that you two have been studying together. How's that been so far? Good. I've also noticed the gardens look better. I trust you took my advice?
What advice?
Some of the plants in the garden were looking a little worse for wear, so I advised the Iris to learn how to look after them.
That's the duty of the gardener.
Who isn't doing a very good job. There's nothing wrong with expanding one's skill set, is there, where appearances are concerned? Wouldn't you agree, Zaros?
Yes, Mother.
How's your hand?
It's healing nicely. No pain anymore.
That's good to hear. It'd be unfair if the first trial was one of combat. Please make sure to look after yourself, both of you. I suspect the judges won't be forgiving on that front, especially when they're weighing you outside the confinements of the trials.
Unofficially? So then what are the trials for if we're being judged outside the official parameters?
Judges need a plan to calculate an outcome using tangible evidence. Tests. That is what the trials are. Knowledge that can be recorded. The highest score, the best moves. When all of the data is sprawled out on the table, it's easy to compare. Knowledge? Simple. Strength? Win or lose. But character and application? That is just as important.
I agree. So, don't forget what we talked about earlier, okay? I'll take my leave. Argyll should be finishing shortly.
The Royal Exalter is proceeding over the tests.
Yes.
May I ask why?
Unfortunately, I do not have the answer. The judges appointed him, not me.
I shall take my leave too. A key is to knowledge
As a map is to
I
the real.
believe in you. Redirect that fire. Gods be with you both. How is Sile Dariel doing? Have you heard from him lately?
No. The last letter he sent was from Black Salt Bay about 2 months ago.
Oh, so far east.
Well, he's always been the explorer, even when we were children. He said he was on the verge of discovering some kind of medicinal miracle.
Nervous? Really? You look it, though. I never said I wasn't nervous. This is it. The beginning of it all. It feels like I've been waiting a lifetime and a second all at once. Too soon, yet too slow. I never thought I'd be standing here either. But we're here now, so might as well make it count. For the history books, I mean. One of us will be chosen to serve, and the other will be demoted, dismissed, and destroyed, most probably. Yes, I know how much you have longed for that. See how feisty you are when there are no eyes watching. Already forgotten, have you? Character and application.
Good morning, my heiress, Zaros. I apologize for the wait. Please come in. Take a seat at a desk of your choosing.
Reminds me of Astron.
Well, the test you're about to take was created by the heads of Astron and the Cerulean Education Board.
Really?
Yes, all questions have been approved by the trial judges as well.
Will we be meeting them anytime soon?
In due time. No turning over the test just yet, my heiress. Both of you must begin at the same time.
Trying to get a one-up on me already, are you? I didn't realize this was a game for you.
First, you need to be informed of the trial's rules before you start. So, the test you're about to take will solely judge your knowledge on various world topics. There are no questions of debate, as that will be your next trial. There is no room for additional opinions, so please keep that in mind. There is also no time limit. Once finished with your test, turn it over and slip it into the envelope provided. I will collect it, and you will leave. Once the test begins, you are not allowed to speak. If you need assistance, again, raise your hand, and I will come to you.
This really is like school.
Do you have any questions before we begin?
Yes, actually. Will we receive feedback on these tests? Will we know the results?
No. The results are strictly for the judges. Any other questions? Yes, my heiress. All I'm able to share with you about the next trial is that you'll be debating in front of a panel. Only the judges chosen to oversee the trials will be there, so I would suggest that after you've finished with this test, to prepare. That is when your opinions will matter. Any other questions? Okay. Please pick up your pens. Your test begins now.
Did you wait for me? How kind. Were you waiting to see how much longer I'd need? Of course you were. Even without a time limit, you're basking in the fact that you finished first, aren't you? Well, it's not always about being the first. You overlook things that way. I guess you'll never know, seeing as we're not going to be told the results. That's the only way you improve. How does one expect to learn if they don't know their own mistakes? And if that test was curated for us, then that means the judges expect us to know the answers. And I'd like to know what I got wrong. How do you think you did? Confident, as expected. I think I could have done better. I didn't say the questions were hard. There were some that stumped me is all. No, they weren't hard. Why do you want me to say? So you can gloat that you knew the answer to something I didn't? True. But in your case, when I do it, it's more to do with common sense than trivia. Okay, if you want to know so badly, then it was the question about the summit of Deveria and the list of treaties that were signed. I knew they were going to test us with history beyond this continent, but not that far. Why didn't I think of being more prepared? I should have made a library with 40,000 books at my disposal. It's no excuse. How do you expect one to know when you don't give them the means to? It's nonsensical. Okay, my Iris. What questions made you struggle? It's only fair to share. Ah, that section. I did notice you slowed down a bit in the middle. Which part of the Social Trust Union confused you? I remember that question. When it was formed, the whole of Cerula stirred. The backlash from those it didn't affect was something. What did you answer? Fair enough. Of course I know. The STU is something my mother wanted me to know inside out. I met the chairman for it a few years ago. Told me about his ideals for the future concerning the current climate of pay. The imbalance between Cerulean people and how each area of economic worth has the same margin within its classification. What, you don't see that as a problem? Just because it's been implemented for this long doesn't mean it needs to stay that way. Nothing changes, and when you've seen it for years, you think it belongs. Especially when it doesn't affect you personally. No, I don't. Not everything's about you. Not everything I talk about has you at the forefront. Beautiful things capture my attention just as much as mundane ones. Go with whichever you think you are. You're not mundane enough to have a drink with, but I'm curious as to why. I'm surprised you want to stay around me a minute more than you need to. But since you offered, I'll have some wine with you. Whichever is available, I'm not hard to please. Though the wine at the proclamation is where I'll have to decline. Good. It tasted like the vineyards were poisoned and then set alight.
Yes, my Iris. At once, my Iris.
I approve the choice of Nadirian wine. You know me too well. After so many years, things slip through the cracks. Things change. I'm not the same person I was before. Do I still sound it? I figured I'd sound more refined nowadays. Pompous! You think anyone arguing with you is pompous? After the debate, you'll return to your room and write in your diary, Zaros was more pompous than usual today. He ran pompous circles around me in all his pomposity. Oh, so you have a diary? Well, you didn't deny it. I'm not judging you. I have one too. I'm just surprised that you do. You're not the type to show your feelings. Maybe writing them down is easier for you. Have them locked away so everyone has no choice but to guess. Thank you. You can leave us.
Yes, Zaros. You'd like me to stay? Iris? Well,
Don't tease the poor thing. Look at him. Wait over there, like the Ares commanded. Don't worry.
Yes, Zaros. Iris?
What was that? A display of power. Your words bear more weight than mine does. What are you trying to prove? Well, when the debate happens, they should be listening to both of us equally. It would make me feel better if I knew everyone would be impartial. I want to believe your mother, I do. But in my position, all I can do is try my best and hope they listen to reason rather than status. For the debate, it feels like I've been preparing for that my whole life. Maybe I will run pompous circles around you. You want a test debate? Now. Okay. I suppose I'll ask the first question. I'm always eager to pick at your mind. What do you think is your greatest strength? I'm not going to answer first, it's my question. You're the one who wanted the debate, so debate. Ooh, tenacity. I like it. You're not wrong. You are tenacious when you want something. You'd step on and over anyone to get it. I bet you do what needs to be done. And the judges will like to hear it. We can finally show off our army in the next war you start. I'm not running out of jokes. I just like using that one. I know it gets to you. You think it's easy cracking that mask of yours? Well, easier in some areas. You're not as much of a blank page as you think you are. But being tenacious... Ooh, I shudder at the thought. Oh, you'll step on me now? Is that a promise? If I recall, you were the one who wanted me to do the stepping. Wow, you'd order someone else to do it. You wouldn't break my legs yourself. And I thought you were tenacious. Me. My greatest strength is... winding you up. Oh yes. I wind you up like thread on my finger. Oh, I have the only privilege. And that makes it more exciting. You don't give anyone else the time of day, but I consider it an honor that I'm able to generate some steam for you. My greatest strength, then, because you can't handle my teasing, is... I think... That's a difficult one. It's good to think I have a lot of strengths. I'm not saying I don't have any weaknesses, but that wasn't the question. I think my greatest strength is my resilience. Not of wine, though my tolerance is higher than many. No, my resilience is to do with that. What you just did. Staying calm and collected no matter what's thrown at me. All the silent stares, the loud words, all the sharp daggers pushed in my back and between my eyes. Ah, but that's the thing. Even if I bleed out, the next day I'm in optimal condition again. ready to take on what's next. So, break my legs if you really want to. I'll walk again. And if you take my legs away, I'll persuade your mother to wheel me around. I'll mention the extra points you'll get with Cerula's people, showing compassion to the man you took legs from, the enemy you pity. You're the one who talked about breaking and taking legs. I'm only entertaining the prospect. Honestly, knowing you, I have no idea what you're capable of anymore. In reality, I do and I don't know you. You've changed, but you haven't. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Anyway, your turn. Ask me a question. Ooh, good one. The first thing I do to build Cerula's future. Well, there's no future without its people, so I would likely want to do something to uplift the community as a whole. Yes, even the nobles. Though I think they've been uplifted enough with the amount of smoke blown up their cloth. Ah, you're not a noble though. You're the Iris. You are just full of hot air naturally. Fine, I'll take it seriously. So, uplifting the community. There are multiple ways you could go about doing it, but I think that Cerula's strength is its rich history and culture. So I would plan more events, more holidays to celebrate togetherness, but as a whole, where every citizen is appreciated, not just the founders. It glorifies a line of people who have done next to nothing to better the country they proclaim to love. And the lowest class already think they're forgotten, and annually they're reminded of that. I'd introduce things that bands everyone together. Give them all something in common, because right now they have nothing. What about tournaments? Instead of the nobles enjoying a spa with a select elite for entertainment, why not open it up to the public where not only the elite can compete, but the rest of the Cerulean citizens? If you really want to showcase our people, then make it for all of our people. We all can watch and root for who we want. Participants can be from anywhere in Cerula. And that could also introduce extra money. Expand on tourism. It could be something grand that people from all over would flock to. See, I have some good ideas. Let's hear yours. What would you do? Or would it be the ports? Only one thing, not an entire manifesto. What would it be? Ports or strengthening our position with allies? The first thing you do. And how would that better the relationship with our allies? What is there to improve? Well, you're the one who asked for a debate. If anything, I'm helping you flesh out your answers. I'm just that nice. So you think we should discuss more deals with them to sweeten our hand? Loyalty? Well, they haven't been able to prove their loyalty yet because the realm hasn't come under any serious threat. They've agreed to supply their armies just as we have for them, but we're in a time of peace. And so far, our current partnerships have benefited everyone at the table. Ah, I see you want to maintain it in the form of... They'd definitely like the sound of export prices lowering and further access to our resources. What do we not have an agreement on yet? Iron deposits? Neither would I. But if they offer a sweet hand, we might need to take it. Personally, I'd want to focus on Cerula itself before looking externally. You do make a point, but that is further down on my list. Of course I have a list. You don't? I'd be surprised if you didn't. I'm curious about what you have on it. I don't need to steal any ideas from you. I know what I believe in, and I know what must be done. That's all I need. I don't know what to expect. But I'll be as prepared as I can. What about you? What do you think awaits us in these tumultuous trials? I bet you'd want a sparring match. I don't want to discredit my own ability, but I know when I'm bested. I don't think I'd stand a chance against you, even now. Yes. I didn't spend my years learning how to fight. I didn't have the best masters at my disposal. And even if I did, there were more important things to do. Fighting was the furthest thing from my mind. And now, if I'd known those skills would have a use, I'd be proactive in getting better. Though we both know it never was my strong suit. I don't doubt you'll win, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to put up a fight. And the same goes for the debate. No, I'm not particularly worried about that. When it comes to words, I can talk rings around you. I know you have a knack for it too, but let's not pretend. In Estron, you hated the fact that I could. And have you had practice since? And I mean with a worthy opponent, not the mirror. Looks like you and I have some studying to do. You more than I. Oh, for this, I'm highly confident. I don't know what else the trials will throw at us, but I'm ready to face them. And face you when the time comes. I can't wait either. But on that note, I think I'll head off. You're never boring. No, I think I need to catch up on some sleep. The long hours of studying are starting to take its toll. It'll take more wine than this to start the dizziness. I might just rest for today. I'm not trying to get out of our mock debate, if you can even call it that. They could announce the trial tomorrow, and I wouldn't be nervous. You think I'm cocky? No, I just know my strengths, remember? I will see you later. My ears.
Am I interrupting you? Are you studying for the upcoming debate? I don't know what they're going to ask either. Still, it's best to cover as much material as you can. Learn from the greatest rulers that have come before me. You think I am? I wish that I'll join them on those pages one day. For now, it's still too soon. How did the test go? It's not meant to be easy, but I'm proud of you. I heard you finished before Zaros did. Finishing first isn't always a good thing, but for this test it proves you had the knowledge stored and ready, and quick thinking, quick recollections can be vital for rulers. How do you think Zaros did? He was studying quite a lot beforehand, wasn't he? He put in a valiant effort, but you did better. I'm saying you won that trial. There are a couple of questions you couldn't answer properly, the same as you in different sections, but in the end, your overall knowledge of the world is better, as expected. Does it matter if you know? It won't change the outcome of the trials. It's empty information. No, Zaros won't know. Having the position I do, being the eminence, means taking advantage of the power I hold. Now, I'm not saying I have the power when it comes to the trials themselves. I can't sway anything, and I don't intend to. However, there are those who like to keep good faith with me, and they tell me things. As I said, empty information. I'm not breaking any rules by telling you. A good ruler knows the boundaries they can work in. A great one knows how to play with them. That's how my father taught me. You should know the laws inside and out. When I became an eminence, I had to swear it. To the people, to the gods. I had to swear that the laws of this nation also applied to me as a citizen of Sarulla, and I haven't broken any of them. But what I've learned is to ensure you keep allies close and keep their trust so that when you need them, they'll accept your favors. All I asked of them was to provide me with a few details if they could. I want to be aware of the position Zaros is in. I don't want to sabotage him. This is your trial. You don't need my help. I just wanted to give you a small boost of confidence. Why? Do you want to sabotage him? An underhanded win isn't necessarily a victory. Let me ask you a question. Are you this engaged because you want to be the next eminence? Or because you want to defeat Zaros? I know it's a bit of both, but you have more fire in you now. I always knew he had the ability to stoke your flames, but I almost forgot how much. I know what effect he has on you, even after so long. The years apart haven't made it any easier for you, have they? In that time, he's amassed knowledge of a different kind, the type that will serve him very well during the debate. I think he has a good chance of winning it. So, continue with your studies. Unfortunately, I don't have any hints to give. They're keeping it well hidden. All I can suggest is for you to expand on what you think you know. The debate will be about your convictions, and you must be able to stand your ground. You're wonderful at public speaking, but to form a coherent argument on the spot? That requires practice. That's all I can ask of you. You're doing very well so far. You've had this destiny from the beginning. I know you're not my firstborn, but you are my everything. I will support and love you no matter what. What would you like to ask? What did Zaros tell you about his grandmother? She didn't steal him. I don't know what he told you, but There was an incident back then between our families, but it was handled. And I think that's a conversation for another day. It's getting quite late and I need to attend to some things. I'll leave you be. I don't want to keep you. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Study well.